it's Roger here from What's on Disney Plus, and it's time for the weekly Q&A. So all of these questions have been submitted by our YouTube channel members and also by our patrons in advance. You can become a member from as little as $2 a month, and you get to have early access to some videos. You also get to have a shout out at a certain level. Plus, you also get to take part in the weekly Q&As. If you're a YouTube channel member, you can join in on the live chat. So we've got a few people that have already joined in already. Just let me know if you can hear me. Just want to make sure that's okay. Also, if you do have a question as well and you're not a member, you become a member. Or you can use the Super Chat function, which all helps support What's on Disney Plus, keeping everything going, keeping all the lights on, and keeping everything moving. So I can see a few people already in the live chat. So we've got Joe, we've got Dana, we've also got Ricardo. Hello to all of you. So let's jump into it. So first off, what I tend to do is we will do a few of the questions that have been done in advance. That's cool. So we've got my VCR still works. He's just jumped in here as well. He's just woken up. It's time right at the time to watch the screen. Yep, and he can hear me. So that's always a good thing for us to do. Okay, so let's jump into some of the questions first off. So Robert asked, with Simpsons on Disney Plus, could Futurama ever head to a streaming service in the United States, or do you think it will stay on Hulu? So as far as this one, I think Futurama is a bit of a funny one because I don't tend to think of it as any different to The Simpsons. I think it would be a great move if they could put it on to Disney Plus. It seems like they may be holding it back in the US for Hulu because they kind of want this adult entertainment thing. For me, I think Bender is, and all of the characters there, it usually used to air in the exact same time slot as Simpsons. So for me, I don't see any difference. I'd love it to be on there. I think Disney Plus could really do with some binge side of things. But really, until Disney decide what they're doing with all their streaming services once they get Hulu, I don't think they seem to be in the mood for sharing stuff. Things like Futurama. I wish it did. I wish it was on there because I really think that would be a great way for them to move forward on that one there. Let's jump into the next question here. So this is kind of our main topic, really. Jay Blue asked, do you think other shows will follow a similar release strategy like the Ghost and Molly McGee, going a few episodes on Disney Plus before they're released, and that'll be on the Disney Channel? Okay, so what's recently happened? So Disney's just announced the lineup for October for the United States, and there's some interesting things going on. So first off, we have got Ghost and the Molly McGee. We're going to be getting 5 episodes dropping a week after the first episode is aired on the Disney Channel, which is great. We're literally, that first episode is going to be a week behind. But what that actually means then is we're going to be getting this second episode on the same day as Disney Channel, but then we're going to be getting the next 3 episodes ahead. Now, whether or not they're doing that because of Halloween and they want to kind of boost up numbers for this show, because, it's about ghosts, it's Halloween, it might get better numbers because of that. We've also had the creator of the show himself actually also being on Twitter as well, kind of confirming it. We're also seeing some other things going on right through October. Under Wraps is coming to Disney Channel next Friday. It will then be coming to Disney Plus a week later. We're also going to be getting, there's a couple of other shorts, like there's a Minnie Mouse Witches special that will be coming the day after, along with Chicken Squad and Spidey and his amazing friends. We're going to be getting a week later. So there's definitely a speed up, a much faster things dropping into place, much faster than we've ever been used to. When you think back to this time last year, we were getting shows like if I say Molly and McGee started this week and there's 24 episodes, we wouldn't see these on Disney Plus for 24 weeks plus another month after that. So it'd be nearly close to 30 weeks time. So probably about 7-8 months. So for me, it's much faster. Now, I did do a little bit of a rant on a column earlier this week about the idea I would like them to get some stability in place of what they're doing with the Disney Channel so we can be much more in line. So if something's dropping on Friday, we know it's going to be dropping the following Wednesday or whatever. A little bit more continuity. I'm hoping we're going to get it. We've got a new person in charge of Disney branded television. And I think this is definitely something I wanted to bring up because Io Davis, she's going to be running Disney. She's going to be taking over from Gary Marsh. And one of the interesting things that they put in here was in the press release for her, they said they're expanding its development and production of Disney branded programming for the company's streaming service, Disney Plus, and linear networks. So that includes, and it says here, she's in charge of programming, strategy, development, current production, casting, business affairs, and marketing for scripted, unscripted animation for Disney Plus, Disney Channel, Disney XD, and Disney Junior. Notice first things first, Disney Plus is at the front now. Disney Plus has moved right to the front of the queue. It is no longer being treated as the step kid of Disney Channel, and I think we're going to see more and more of this as the push towards Disney Plus becomes standard. And I really do think we are going to start seeing stuff arriving from Disney Channel much quicker than before. Only this past week in the UK, Spin dropped randomly. They didn't announce that one in advance. So that one was only released last month. It should have been quicker, I'll be honest. It should have been much quicker. But I'm hoping that we really start seeing this. And also internationally, things start speeding up, because the things I've just been talking about, some of it's actually impacting in the US. Some of them aren't. So definitely have to be something that we have to watch. Okay, so we got a few live questions here dropping in as well. So this is one that's come back recently. Joe has asked, do you think Free Guy will be coming to Disney Plus UK and Ireland on the 29th because there is no digital release date for the UK? Do you think it's a false rumor? So it is. Free Guy is actually coming to Disney Plus in Australia and New Zealand on that date. And that one's been around for a while, but there has been, it went up. There has been some issues down in Australia and New Zealand because of lockdown. So people haven't been able to go to the cinema. So that might be why it got announced in advance, because there was nowhere for it to go. People in Sydney and Melbourne were in lockdown. If you were in Darwin or Perth, you were probably all right. But in the major cities, you couldn't. And so that's where they're. Now, there was an article on Digital Spy this weekend saying it's coming to the UK on Wednesday as well. It's also been announced it's coming to some European countries in a couple of weeks' time. I have heard nothing officially from Disney. I've not seen anything on any Disney. There's nothing on their social media, nothing on their website. I have reached out for confirmation from Disney myself, from my sources there. It's a weekend, so I wasn't expecting any news back. So hopefully we'll find out ahead of time. You would have thought if they were putting Free Guy on this week, they would have made a little bit more noise about it. I know it's been on Digital Spy, and generally they do lots of great entertainment. I read it every day, but sometimes they have been wrong with Disney Plus stuff in the past of posting US lists instead of the UK lists. So it could happen, but just be aware. Officially, Disney hasn't officially announced Free Guy. I hope it is, because I really want to watch it this week. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching Free Guy this week on Disney Plus if it does. But I'm really looking forward to that one. Let's see what we've got here. So Ricardo has asked, which are the next Disney Fox international channels to close down this year? Okay, so they just announced this past week that all the Star Premium channels in Latin America are going to be closing down at the end of January. So that's a load of channels that are going to be closing down in Latin America. Bob has previously said that they're planning on closing over 100 channels. That could include them, but they are rapidly speeding up the amount of channel closures that they're doing. They're really kind of pushing forward on that whole thing of closing down the channels, focusing everything on their streaming app. Internationally, are they making as much money? Are they not making it? Are they seeing things happening much quicker? Some countries are a little bit harder, because I know down in Latin America and in some places as well, internet's always great. Here in the UK, you go a little bit out here on Dartmoor, out on anything like that, your internet's going to be pretty bad. If you're in a town or a city, you're great, you can get fiber, but there is problems, and that's the same thing in the US, so that's why there is it. But everything's going streaming. We see it all the time. Streaming is where it's going. So at the minute, we've got all the Southeast Asian channels are going to be closing down. I think it's the end of next month. There's going to be a load closing down in Asia, just ahead of Disney Plus. There's going to be a lot more to be coming. Stephen asks, Criminal Minds Confused, seasons 1 to 15 gone from Disney Plus, where season 16 going to end up as... I don't know where it's gone. I know it's on Disney Plus here in the UK. There was literally some social media about this the other day. So season 16, I think it will still be made by ABC. It will just have to go to Paramount Plus in the US. And I suspect, depends on who's got the distribution rights. Disney might have the international distribution rights because they're making it. So that might be how it works. Frank also says, could there ever be a What's on Disney Plus app? I have looked into it, but generally it's only really like the website and the YouTube stuff. It's just going to pull everything in. I've looked into it, but I didn't really think would we need it? Do I need to do an app for updates and stuff like that? I've honestly thought the website. I've tried to make the website social for mobile phones and stuff. My VCR still works. Says, do you think we will get an announcement of the Sandlot series on the Disney Plus day? We could do. I mean, they're going to have to announce some things there to kind of keep people engaged. My theory is with the Disney Plus day, we might only get stuff for maybe like the next 3 to 6 months. Maybe a few little things a little bit later, but I don't think they're going to be anything longer than this year, because the main aim is to get people just to sign up for like an annual package. So Ricardo said, if Viacom, CBC, and NBC Universal actually announce a merger, which one do you actually think will be let go, CBS or NBC? Now, for me personally, as like a non-American, I don't necessarily have the connection to these, but I have a much more connection to NBC because of Universal and stuff. It's as far as the CBS doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean much as a brand to me. Paramount is a much stronger brand, so I think it would be NBC. Frank then said, since Ghost and Molly McGee episodes 3 to 5 are premiering on Disney Plus ahead of Disney Channel, how does that legally work with Disney's contract with cable companies? Now, I don't know how that all works. It might be different with Molly McGee because it's it's a brand new show, so there might not be any contracts. I think this is where it's all going to get very tricky with the contracts, because essentially they are getting some content originally, but I don't think the tech cable networks are going to have much. They should be great. I mean, Disney, if they push too hard, they could just lose all of the Disney Channel. That's the trouble with that one. So Joshua says Criminal Minds 1 to 15 are on Disney Plus. Criminal Minds 16 was being made but got cancelled in July versus Peggy. Was it cancelled? I did think that one was kind of going ahead, but I thought it was, but maybe not. Got a couple of other questions here about Paramount Plus. So Frank says, since Paramount Plus is competing with Disney Plus with their own version of the bundle with Paramount Plus and Showtime, could HBO and Netflix do this? No, because Paramount Plus and Showtime are both owned by the same company. That they're obviously trying something before they end up having to basically merge the two together. All the big networks at the minute, they're all just trying to work out how it all works. They don't want to. They're probably looking at Showtime's bringing in this money, and they're looking at Paramount going, we want both of it. And it's all going to change. Caleb said, if there's ever a merger between Viacom, CBS, and Comcast, I could see CBS being divested to Warner Brothers. Because I think that's a big issue with the CBS purchase in the US, was they would not be allowed to do it because the network. Again, these are old deals. I'd imagine if they go to court now, they can kind of say, look, we don't even want the TV network. we don't really want it. CBS says it's basically Star Trek, NCS, and half Criminal Minds, CSI, and JAG. So that's basically everything my dad loves. My dad loves all of those shows. Big hello and a big welcome to Mick. So hello to becoming. Thank you very much for becoming a member. If you've got any questions, make sure you do it. Eternal should make New Year's Day film if it is 45 days. Actually, if it's 45 days, it'll actually be just before Christmas. So if they can get it on there quick enough, they might want that for Christmas boost. They've got Encanto. They might want to wait until after Christmas, get a bit of a boost for the holiday. So that could be a way of doing it. Okay, so let's now look here at some of the other questions. So Frank asked, since Star Wars Visions was successful on Disney Plus, could Disney make more anime for Disney Plus to compete with Netflix? I wish they would. I mean, I think it definitely would be good for them to do it. I mean, I definitely feel like, we need more different content. That Star Wars Visions was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. Definitely recommend that one. But yeah, I would love them to do a little bit more of this. Hopefully the viewing figures are up enough so they can start doing it. Maybe just, do that Kingdom Hearts series, or even just let them have a go at doing something a bit different, maybe doing some original IP, or giving them maybe Big Hero 6. That sounds like that could be quite an interesting one, or do something on those lines, give them something fresh. Okay. So we also got a question here from Joshua. With the whole Disney Marvel suing creators palaver, how do you see this sorting out? There's also another question on about this whole Marvel comic things, and we've got another question here for Mick. Will Disney come back with announcements with Marvel Comics trying to get it back? And we did have another question as well. I'm going to bring this one up. Here we go. Yeah, so there was another question as well from Caleb, where he asked, where do you see the Ditko and also... I've covered it over, so I can't read it properly. Yeah, so Caleb asks, how do you think the Ditko and Marvel Disney lawsuit will play out? I hope they reach a settlement where both sides get to what they want. Disney continues the MCU while the estates get paid royalty in perpetuity. And with this and the Joe Johnson lawsuit, do you think Disney will overhaul their PR staff since they can't afford to take any more hits? I don't think necessarily. I don't think with this whole lawsuit. So let's break this down, so we know what's going on with it. So the thing is with this lawsuit is Marvel have put in, and John's just come up here. Marvel is putting in a suit because there's been some lawsuits coming through that after the death of the creators of some of these characters like Spider-Man stuff, the estates, which is the company, either companies or family, they then are trying to get back their rights to. They say that they were not paid contractors. There's a load of things that go on with this one, so it's very complicated, and they're trying to countersuit. And so Marvel are trying to get ahead of this. So rather than playing defense, they've kind of gone on offense and trying to get in there and trying to make sure that they don't lose the rights to Spider-Man or anything else. There's a whole host, loads of characters, Doctor Strange, pretty much most of the major ones we're aware of. I can't see this one going through. Personally, I think there's a kind of situation of you going back and going, well, we get the rights back. Well, can you speak? Can they speak? Have you got the contracts? Who made the contracts? All the rest of it? It's probably gone back quite a bit of time. But I don't like the idea of, if I sell you this, you then, if I was to die, then you can come back and say to my, and go, well, I don't, it just feels very strange of how this works out. Got a couple of little things in here as well. For example, John said the Marvel copyright is only for the US, not internationally. I did my research and asked a few people. I have been hearing that, it is only partial rights. It's not all of it. Josh said, I think they will only lose full ownership, so they would still have ownership. But they're going to pay up. Whatever's going on now, probably the estates are trying to edge for some more money, which is, understandable. I would do the same. Personally, I definitely think that that's going to be something that we'll see going forward. Is they're just trying to, and I don't blame them, and if they can get paid off and the problem can go away for another 30, 40 years, that's great. I don't think this is ever going to come to anything. This has probably just been put out there to sort it out. Something will get sorted. So I can see there's no chance. DC have gone through something similar. I know Predator's going through, but that's a little bit of a different case because they're still alive while they're trying to get it back due to different rules. But I think there's a lot of this is a load of smoke and mirror. And I think as far as the PR side of things, I don't think it's necessarily about that. Ultimately, this would have got out. Nothing's going to come from Marvel. I really can't see it coming to anything. Right. Yeah, and Joshua's literally just added there. The attorneys representing the estate of Ditko is the same attorney who was trying to get the Predators. Yeah, they've obviously got something that they feel like they've got something over these corporations. And there's a lot of people that don't like corporations and think that they're owed it. But then there's the same thing as well to me of like, okay, so you didn't create it. So he's also an attorney for the Kirby estate. For me, there's also this other side of things of, is Spider-Man worth more now than when he got created? Yes. And a lot of that has been done by Marvel. So I think there's, you could kind of counter-argue it going, these characters and these franchises have been built up because of the work that they've done. Okay, let's move now. So a big hello and thank you to RRK65. Thank you so much for your super chat. I really appreciate that. That really means so much to you. So let's see what you've said. So do you think Disney Plus will add more movies from 20th Century Studios? Most of the old movies now are from the Disney library. Okay, so let's look at this in two ways. So first off, let's talk about international, because that's the easy bit. Anything that 20th Century have got the license to is coming onto Disney Plus. We're getting older movies. We're getting like Rocky Horror Picture Show. We're getting lots of old stuff, and there's just stuff dropping constantly every week, primarily just the 20th Century titles. So internationally, yes, we are definitely seeing lots of it. In the US, it's very different in terms of the 20th century. Because of contracts with with HBO, Stars, a lot of it's missing, so they can't really utilize it properly. Not even just with Hulu. I mean, there's some stuff. There's not that many 20th century titles even on Hulu. They're just scattered all over the place due to pre-existing contracts. So they've got to sort all of this out, and so they are putting things onto Disney Plus. I personally would like them to put a bit more on there. I think it would help really expand out their level. But I think until Disney just announce what they're doing with Disney Plus long term for the US, because it definitely feels right now, with the words of Bob Chapek has said recently, things are changing, things are moving. They are putting stuff on Disney Plus much more openly around the world. Yeah, I definitely think we are going to see more movies being added. There's a lot of, they've been adding, I think this month, there's we've got Road Chip. We're getting 2 of the Alvin and the Chipmunk movies. We're also getting Thumbelina and Rookie. So they are actually raiding the family things for 20th century. But I'd like them to go back and do some really much more older stuff. Get those early ones in there. I think that would be a lot better if they could. Okay, let's just check we've got any more on this one here. So let's just jump in. So here we go. All right. So a couple more questions here from. We've got Frank asks, since a lot of the Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon shows are leaving Hulu, could this result in Hulu needing much more kids content, or will they rely on Disney help for their kids content? Well, I think generally, if you are going to be on Hulu and you're after kids content, Disney are going to want you to take out Disney Plus and get this Disney streaming bundle. That would definitely be a way of them doing it. I don't think they are going to go down doing kids content. I think they're going to primarily be pushing you for the bundle. They'll sort something out, but I think when they do lose access to Cartoon Network, and that they will do. And Frank also asked, will the Disney bundle ever be offered in Japan, since Hulu exists in Japan? I know, because Disney Plus is getting all the Star content coming up in about 4 weeks' time at the end of October. And also, I don't think Hulu actually is run by Disney in Japan. I think it got licensed out, so it's not actually even theirs. So we got there. So let's have a look and see what we've got in the live. So let's see, we've got quite a few questions here coming in. So Ricardo asks, it was announced that all of HBO Max original shows in Latin America and Europe will be available in the US and the rest of the world. Why can't Disney do that yet with Disney Plus? I don't know. To me, it feels like with Disney Plus, especially in the United States, has become this kind of thing where they're trying to keep it so basic in terms of it's Disney. It has to be family friendly. It has to be, everything is around the Disney brand and all the rest of it. And, we can't put any, overseas content on here because it might confuse people and people might not want. And it seems to be this thing of it's a very old fashioned way of looking at it, going this is very, this is it. And then internationally, they've kind of gone, no, it doesn't matter. We're going to be putting on the Indian content. We're going to be putting on the Spanish. For me, I do not understand why they don't put all their originals everywhere they can. I mean, there might be legal reasons. They might not be paid, but generally you'd imagine they would do it. Put it all on there. Give us the option. If it's there, if you don't want to watch it, maybe you can, either hide it or put it around there. But yeah, I really wish they would clean up what they're doing with all their originals, make it much more available for everyone to be able to watch stuff. They put on the Spanish. There was a Spanish Star original which dropped onto Disney Plus a few weeks ago here in the UK. Frank said, how come there's less Spanish audio content on Hulu, such as Bicklebri and Family Guy? I don't know. I don't know why that would be missing. You'd imagine that would be there. So yeah. Okay. So Apple TV Plus has update gone really good. Foundation, Invasion C, and The Morning Show. I got into The Morning Show. I tried it, didn't really get into it. I haven't watched Foundation Invasion yet. I still think of Apple TV. I think my actual contract has expired because they keep sending me messages. Stephen also said the Superman and Lois season 1 takes ages to come to the UK. Yeah, there's always been that way, I think, with a lot of those bits and pieces. Frank also, could there ever be a Simpson short about National Geographic, like how they did one? I think there's going to be something about National Geographic in the upcoming Disney Plus day one. Now, Ricardo said now on Star Plus in Latin America has been added the Ang Lee Hulk film from 2003 and the Dolph Lundgren Punisher film. Now is the only service to have both Hulk movies and some from Punisher. A lot of this comes down to contracts of who, if they've got the distribution rights, maybe they paid for it, and that's how they've got it. So that's what it might not be anywhere outside of those regions. Mick says, will Disney Plus Day be available on YouTube or a website live? I would imagine that if they're going to be doing a presentation, it'll be available on YouTube, and they'll be putting out on all the main aim of these live shows is to get people that aren't on Disney Plus and get social buzz and to get people excited about it. So that's definitely a major thing. I would expect it to be available on the day. I'll also be, posting about it. I'll be doing videos and stuff. Let's say it's in the diary. That is a full day. I will be, I'll be in here all day long. Whatever the presentation my plan is as well. I'll be doing, probably be doing a live stream for everyone that day. For questions and stuff. We'll do a special Disney Plus Day edition of this one as well. So Joe said, so with the deal that Disney made last year with Sky, does that mean the new 20th Century Studios have to go to Sky first after the cinema, or is a non-exclusive deal? My feeling, I think when it came out last year, it wasn't exclusive because I think they made a similar deal with Virgin. I think so. 20th Century Studios. Virgin Me. I'm sure that's what. Yes. So I'm just trying to have a look here. Movies. I definitely don't think it's exclusive because I think it was a way of giving Sky Cinema a little bit more some movies while they could in order for them to sell Disney Plus. I'm just having a look here. I can't see anything, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that I've gone through and read that announcement on multiple occasions, and nowhere does it say it's exclusive. It just says that they've come to an agreement. My VCR still works. So Netflix bought the rights to Roald Dahl books. Could you see Disney buying more rights to books? They are buying a lot. I feel like I'm doing articles all the time about Disney buying rights to books to turn them into movies. They're just going for new stuff that seems. And also, a lot of people don't realize this, but they actually own a publishing. Disney Hyperion is a massive book company. So in some ways, Disney have already got their own, like Percy Jackson and all of his stuff. There's quite a few things that are done through. So they've kind of already got like a good deal in because they can actually get in and they're already a book publishing company. So that definitely adds in there. Oh, hello to we got a thank you very much for the super chat for Luke. Thank you very much for your support. Really means a lot. Why is the Fantastic Four movie missing when the Silver Surfer is there? Let's just have a look, see where it is. That's always the first point. Let's see what. It's always, this is the thing, especially again, it's the 20th Century Studios movies that seem to be the worst ones of seeing where they are. So let's see where Fantastic Four is. So Fantastic Four is currently on Sky Cinema. So that's where it is at the minute. So they've obviously got the existing deal. Right, and according to this, Sky Cinema have got the movie until the 31st of May, 2022. So that's why it's not on Disney Plus. So it will be on there probably maybe July or August of next year. So that's why it's not there, because it's on Now TV and Sky. But again, thank you very much for your support, Luke. That really means a lot. Thank you so much for that one. Ricardo said Hulu is owned by somebody else in Japan. No idea how they already. It was done years ago, probably even before Disney even owned it. So that was a thing. Steve said, forgot to say RIP John Callis last week. Miss Boys. Oh, that's that's from Only Fools and Horses. Kelly said, I hope the streaming rights services get together in multiple language options. One thing I missed from the standalone Disney WWE network is the Hindi audio option. So on Peacock, does it not offer off the Indian? Because obviously here we've still got the WWE network running. So I'm going to be watching Extreme Rules tomorrow morning when I get up. I would just literally just pan up a little bit. You can see there just where my head is my kind of championship belt. Yeah, so it's a shame. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens with all of this Hotstar stuff with Disney and how that's all going to work in with Hulu and Disney Plus and all the rest of it. Frank said, since Paramount Plus bundle is offered a yearly plan, could the Disney bundle do the same? They probably could. I think the thing is they keep putting the price up, and I do wonder if they don't want to push the Disney bundle or they don't want to push a yearly one because they keep changing stuff. That might be why they keep changing plans. Baba says hi, hello to you. Frank says, since America's Funniest past seasons are on Disney Plus, could Disney do the same thing for Disney XD video game shows? They probably could do. And my question is with Disney, especially with video games, how much with video games do you go back and watch? I am a gamer. I play video games every day, and I do watch YouTube content and stuff on there. But generally, I'm just watching like the new stuff. We watch like the Nintendo Direct, or you're watching stuff of the new things. Are you going to go back and watch someone playing Halo 3 or Disney Infinity 2 or Last of Us Part 1, or are you more interested in the new Guardians of the Galaxy game, or that's definitely a thing moving forward on there. John said non-exclusive deal. I remember I think that's definitely it. That was regards to Sky. John also asked, Daredevil and Elektra will be on Disney Plus UK, both by I know it's bad movies. It was one of those things with Daredevil. I didn't think it was that bad. When I remember watching it years ago, and I haven't watched it for a while, I don't remember it being bad. I mean, at the minute it's on Amazon and Sky over here at the minute. So it's on, so that's why it's not on Disney Plus here yet. Elektra, I did think was awful. I do remember that being pretty bad. But yeah, no, I do remember that one being really, really bad. Right, let's just bring up here some more questions that we've got. So we're going to do this one. Yeah. Right, let's see here what we've got. So, okay, so Frank Moore said, how come HBO Max in Latin America is using the same rating system for Disney Plus in Latin America and Europe? Probably doing it because it's a very logical sense of just putting in the age bracket so you can put it in. Josh has said, any thoughts on DAZ being advanced talks of BT Sports and Z merging with Sony? I know because that's the one run by Kevin Mayer, the former Disney Plus guy. I think it makes a lot of sense for a lot of these sports networks to start coming together and putting together global deals. And I think with like Z, I think Z are merging some of their Indian. We're in this consolidation thing right now where I think everyone is looking at, you need size and scalability because you can't compete being little. You can't be all little places together. People have got too many subscription services. I mean, I think if they do get hold of BT Sports, because they'll obviously have access to ESPN, and there's a deal there. That might be where they can offset their sports. But Disney are going really heavy on sports stuff. Okay. Ricardo said there is a Journey to the Center of the Earth TV show coming to Disney Plus Latin America. I've heard that one there. Hopefully they can make it available to all of us with some dubbing and stuff. I do remember the Journey to the Center of the Earth attraction in Japan. That was fantastic. Joe said, is the Halloween collection on Disney Plus in UK Island? Because I can't find it. And are you going to watch American Horror season 9 before double feature? Okay, so if you actually go onto the website you put it like disneyplus.com/EB or GB and then editorial and how there is actually, you can actually go to it through your browser. They've just not added it to the app yet. I suspect it will be done this week, but you can get to it through your web browser. So it is there, and I've accessed it, and it's got star stuff in there and bits and pieces, but it's just not there for everyone yet. It's for some reason they've not put it into the app. I don't know if it's because maybe the UK they're not as quite hot on getting the Halloween stuff up as early as it does in the US. Kayla said, no, Peacock doesn't offer any multiple language options. The app is bizarre outside of It's a very strange thing, but Sky, Comcast seem to be all over the place. Right. So Mick says, will Star stay in the UK and with the Star rebrand? Okay, so what this was I did an article the other day because here in the UK, a lot of the advertising for Disney Plus at the minute, up till now, they've always had the Star, and it's coming to Star, and it's a Star original, the rest of it. And then suddenly, the last week or so, they've all the branding for like American Horror Story, Dope Sick, Walking Dead, Why the Last Man. There's no they're not putting Star anywhere. And I think it seems to be like they're simplifying things because I think people were getting confused over what was going on there. Right, let's jump now into, I'm going to do these last couple of questions here. So we've done Kaylee's question about the lawsuit. And this was just, so Era G said, with Disney phasing out the Star in marketing and introducing the FX brand in the UK, do you think we'll get some other content getting their studios rebranded for the promo rather than Star? Partially hope that all the local content gets special branding to make it easier for people to find, i.e. like Hotstar. To me, it actually feels the opposite. It feels like the move away from the Star brand is to try and make it much more simplistic, that it's Disney Plus, that it's on Disney Plus, that's where it is, and that's where it wants to be. So I definitely feel like they're pushing more that way, and I think just throwing everything under Star, that's not a bad thing that they did that, but I think it's more about getting the word out that it's on Disney Plus. You don't need an extra app, you don't need to pay extra for it. Connor said, thank you very much for American Horror Story post. Yeah, because I did think that with Joe and Connor. So as far as watching American Horror Story, now I've only watched 3 episodes of American Horror Stories, and I really enjoyed them. I actually quite enjoyed them. The question is, do I need to watch the previous seasons to enjoy the new ones? Because I know they're all anthologies, so they're all a bit different. So I'm thinking, can I watch 9 and 10 at the same time? Because one's set in 1984, one's set with aliens, one's set with... So that's the thing. So I'm thinking I can get away without having... And I've not watched any of the previous ones. I might miss out on stuff. But I'm kind of thinking I can kind of get away with it. I think I'm probably going to end up watching... I'll be watching American Horror Story at least to see how it all works. But I've been enjoying Horror Stories, and I've got a new episode dropping on Wednesday. So because I've gone in backwards, I'm going in backwards on that one. All right, let's see what other ones we've got here. Rick Steven said Red Dwarf is coming back for a new season. I used to be a massive Smeghead. I used to love Red Dwarf. I used to have video. I actually had them on video till about season 7 or 8, and then they went away. And I haven't watched it since it came back. You can't always recreate it. But I used to love Red Dwarf. John says Netflix yesterday announced international projects. Do you think Disney will do the same? There's a lot of they're going to be having like 50 European ones. We've got Asian ones. We've also got lots of Latin American ones. Joshua said, I imagine with the situation, they'll merge all together and just rebrand, and the service will be renamed Disney. I don't think they're even going to go with the Hotstar. I don't think they're even going to be doing that. I think it is literally just Disney Plus. I think they've realized that it needs to be simplistic. And I don't think Hotstar will work as an international in countries outside of it. They're only using the Hotstar brand because it's established. Frank said, could the Grumps 1960 show come to Disney Plus? It's currently owned by Disney. If it's owned by them and they've got the rights, but it all depends whether or not they can, have they got the streaming rights? Because they might not have that. They might have to go and make extra deals. Is it in high enough quality? Has it got the audio, subtitles, etc.? There's a lot of other things, just owning the rights. They have to have the streaming rights. Kaylee said, speaking of Z merging with Sony, I read Z Enterprise. Oh yeah, that was about that one earlier. Let's see what we've got here. Kaylee said, Z Enterprise currently owes a lot of debt. Sorry, I hit it. That's fine. Don't worry about it. We're all Any word on when Angels and the Outfield will come to Disney Plus? No, not yet. Let's have a look, see if we've got an idea where it is. There could be legal reasons why they might not have. Again, they might not have the distribution rights for streaming, because they've got to pay some of these ones. They might actually have to pay the people that made it to kind of get it on there. They might not automatically have it, and that can be a bit of an issue. And also, they think it's worth it. Angels on the Outfield. Let's see if it's anywhere else in the US. It's not And it's interesting as well. That movie is not showing up on any digital outlets. That might be an issue. If it's not out on that might be an issue why it's not popping up if they've not got it on any digital outlets. Frank says, when I was in Mexico, I was told by one of my uncles about the Star Plus. He thought it was talking about stars. Yeah, I completely understand that one. Right, last question on the previously pre-done ones. So Connor said, I'm pleased with the absolute plethora of new stuff arriving on Disney Plus this October in the UK after 5 months of drip feeding. I still think they've been drip. If you think it's drip feeding, see what the US has got. What do you think this is behind the sudden change of heart by Disney? I hope November and December will be just as good. If not, some retro Disney material would also be fantastic. There was a lot of stuff on Disney Life that didn't get moving. I feel like that Disney is really ramping up because this is Prime TV. I mean, you see all the TV coming back. You know, we're all going into the winter. We're all at home more. So we all watch more TV. So I think they're just revving up for the winter because that's where more people watch. Let's see what we've got here. So a couple more last questions. So we've got about 5 more minutes before we cut off for the evening. Stephen said, how much left? Sci-Fi Channel does not get any TV show like it used to. Sky Go rebrand. The thing is with Sky is they're losing access to so much content, and it's going to continue to lose. They're going to continue to keep losing this content over and over and over again, and it's just going to be continuing to do so. Baba said, could Disney put books and videos for helping kids on how to read? I know that they did actually. There was some TV shows they're making out in other countries about that, but they could do that. The thing is, it's all going to come down to, do they think people are going to watch it, and is it worth the money? Kelly said, I see Star staying in Disney Plus overseas to ensure the mature content is there a while so kids don't access. I do think having the Star content as a brand is fine. I would have preferred 20th Century Studios or something along those lines, but I do think the Star option makes sense and it looks stronger because there's just so much in there. I completely agree with the idea of having this 6th brand to throw stuff in there. I think I would have got, maybe a little bit more restructuring, maybe turn, but then they have to rebrand like ABC and Hulu and all the rest of it. So there's a lot of stuff to come. Joe said, when's Big Sky season 2 coming back? Hope it was. Yeah, I mean, I was hoping it was going to be in line with the US, but again, it's just a mess of how they're releasing stuff. I mean, why have we not got, the Wonder Years as well? Why are they holding on for stuff? It's so strange. Let's see here. Here comes the Grump movie. Hey, I don't really know too much about that one. Okay, so Joe asks, is Modern Family season 9 coming on Wednesday, or is it? I think it's only season 9. I'm on the official press release. I remember that one there. Steven says he misses Fox now. No CIS. No, yeah, that was my parents. They love that show. They will watch that all the time. So it's definitely, they've not seemed to put that anywhere else. Steve also said, Challenge TV old quiz show makes sense if they could do some outdated. I always feel like with like quiz shows and stuff there's so many ones out live. I don't really like quiz shows very much, so I really don't see much value in them, but I know there's a lot of it. Frank, could they ever do a marketing campaign called the Disney Bundle Gatorades, with blue Gatorade being Disney, green Gatorade being Hulu, and orange Gatorade being ESPN? Maybe. Hands on heart, I have never had Gatorade, so I don't even know what that tastes like. So they could do, but I can't see that happening. Okay, I think that is all of the live questions. So I think that's probably a good point there to end this one here. So a huge thank you to everybody for joining in. Thank you so much for all of your support. So big thank you to RRK65 for your super chat. Thank you as well for Luke for your super chat. Really does help with all of the support. So we'll get that. So I'm going to do the last couple of questions. Josh has said NCIS will likely be on 5 branded channels or on network. I think it's definitely going to end up probably on there. And Steven said, why has the Hulk got no head? I don't know what you mean. I don't know what that one is. Also, we've got here, Joe said, can we ever see Mayan season 1s to come? I think we probably will do at some point. I think we've already seen with the what was it? What We Do in the Shadows. So we are starting to see some of the shows moving over from the BBC. So I definitely think like we could see that happening with, because at the minute it's on Sky Go and iPlayer. So I think we will see it drop over, but it will be a little bit behind. Oh, it's behind me. Where is the Hulk? I can't see the Hulk. There's no Hulk there. Right. On that note, on the show, the Hulk's got no head. I'm trying to think where he is. We've got Red Hulk down the bottom. Yeah, no, he's probably there. It might just be out of sight. But on that note, there. Thank you very much for joining me this week. Thank you very much again for all of your support, and I shall see you in next week for another live edition. And on that note, thank you very much. See you guys soon. Later.